Welcome to the first episode of Lifeline, a podcast where we seek to explore all aspects of humanity and its place in the cosmos, navigating the ebbs and flows of existence as we move forward in our lives. I'm your host Rahul Thapa, and it's my honor to share this journey with you. Joining us today are two extraordinary people: Oluwa Adams, a mystic whose insights into the spiritual realm have illuminated the paths of many seekers, and Crystal Atman, whose mastery of Kunda Dance and lifestyle wisdom improves lives on a daily basis. Together, we dive into a conversation that promises to peel back the layers of life's deepest questions and intricacies of human suffering. As we traverse through this landscape of philosophy, mindfulness, and the art of living, Oluwa and Crystal will share their profound experiences and the transformative power of spiritual practices. They bring not only just theories, but actionable knowledge that can lead to a balance and serenity which we so crave in our daily lives. To everyone tuning in, whether you're a seasoned spiritual explorer or taking your first steps on this path, this episode is a beacon for your journey. So just settle in, open your minds, and let's begin the exploration together.
So Oluwa, tell me what's happening. What's been happening? How was the session?
The masterclass?
Yes, the masterclass.
You want to say first?
Went really well.
Okay.
Actually, it was our first masterclass we've done like that.
Yeah.
And the interest was a lot. The turnout was really good.
Right.
We were focusing on talking about, it was called the Secrets of Sacred Union.
Yeah.
So we were just talking about what the sacred union means for us and how it's necessary to create an inner union before we can even go to the outer.
Right.
There were so many things we talked about. Often Oluwa shares a lot of esoteric teachings as well. There was a lot of ancient mystery school teachings.
Okay.
It was very interesting and people were learning a lot. Yes.
Beautiful. Yeah, it was really beautiful actually. It was really beautiful because the teachings that come out often is a reflection of who's there energetically.
Right.
Like when people are very deep and quite conscious, teachings are deeper. If people are a little more, then it's more, So the quality of the teachings, wow, people were really interested. Were awakening and experience the inner union.
Yeah.
So they can express it.
Yeah.
If people want to express, but they don't have the experience of something.
Right.
They can't express it. So that masterclass was really phenomenal, and we're going to be doing more for sure because of the response of like what people really want this.
Yeah, it was so deep. It was like, even I was astounded. But I was like, I just almost forgot that I was leading the masterclass. And I was like, my jaw just dropped. I was just listening, and it's just incredible. You never know what's coming out of his mouth. Like really, like incredible. And people were like, "Wow!" There were so many ahas and wow moments.
For sure. Yeah.
I can definitely imagine that for sure.
Yes.
So it's such a blessing, like having someone like Oluwa,
Yes.
and him sharing all his experiences. I know, like it's very hard to translate that experience into someone else because it's not even close. But at the same time, it's right there. You know what I mean?
What can I do what's best? The mystery, the vastness of it. One could live 100 lifetimes. Still have, it's so vast. Osho wrote about 700 books, and I'm sure he probably didn't even touch that. It's so vast. There's so much. It's infinite. Literally,
Infinite.
it's infinite.
Yes.
So that tells everything. It's infinite true.
Yeah, so like you guys did this masterclass, right? Like I said, like I have a few friends of mine as well, and there are other people, especially like people who are watching as well. They don't have that kind of a surrounding where they talk about meditation or maybe even like general mental health, specifically not just mental health, but just how to improve your life by self-reflection, motivation, and all these things. That's never been a conversation, right? They're just doing something in a job, in school, maybe in college, university, doing the same shit, right? How do they, like, if they have no idea about this kind of a sphere, which is obviously its own thing, how do they tap into it, or how do they get into it being, okay, maybe there's something over here? Like, how does that happen usually? What do you think? Like, does it happen naturally, or do they have to start seeking on their own?
Yeah, that's a really beautiful question, really. And it depends. Everyone's so unique. There are the Eckhart Tolle. Everybody knows what happened to Eckhart Tolle, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure you heard that.
Yeah.
He was depressed, and overnight that happened to me, but I'm sure he's done some spiritual work in for my lives for that to happen. Some people have to seek.
Okay.
So, what I would recommend everyone has to do some kind of seeking a bit, at least a bit, because one has to be interested. The universe is the ultimate gentleman. Lady, very polite.
Yeah.
If one doesn't want something, the universe will be like, okay.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's changing a bit. It's changing actually.
Yeah.
I'm seeing that almost everyone that I know, pretty much everyone that I know, is going through some stuff. And to me, that tells me a lot. The universe is like saying, wake up, people. Before, one person wakes up over there, here, there, 1 in a million, 1 in 1,000, whatever. Now it's like people are being pushed. And it's because the very survival of humanity probably depends on it. That's usually when that happens. The universe is saying, come on, people, come on. It's just a joke. Catch the joke. We are all masters, awakened beings. Just realize it.
And I know, like for me, right? I think my journey, my childhood, my younger years have been really quite difficult. And I remember I was just that was the first time I ever read. The first book I read was Osho book actually. That was about spirituality, meditation, and it was gifted to me because I just casually mentioned it. I don't know where it came from, but wouldn't that be nice to meet like an awakened master in this lifetime? And it's like, oh, actually, I've got a book for you. And I never read it for like about 2 years after I was given it. I went to China, and that was the only book that I took with me. Then I traveled back to Estonia, I went back to China, and then came to Australia. So I had this book, the one book with me all the time. I don't know why I brought it with me, but I guess I had on a soul level, there was something that was happening that I wasn't aware of. I didn't know, right? So I guess it would happen to people when they're ready, sometimes, I don't know, could you like create that desire, or does the soul have to be like a mature enough,
The way it works, thank you for that.
Yeah.
The way it works is that every soul actually came to awaken. Every soul. I don't care who you may not like or think that person definitely didn't go to awaken. You can look at somebody that. Everyone but that person didn't come to awaken. Yeah. Everyone. It's the main reason why we came. The difference is some people are aware of it, some are not. And the different levels of readiness. Some beings incarnate haven't already attained a level of awakening in my life. I call them avatars. Everyone really is an avatar, but some people are really, they reach a certain level and then they came to assist, but not just to assist, but to complete their journey. Because people talk about awakening as if it's just that person's awake. That's not. No. There are different levels of awakening. There are many levels, and in the book I talk about it. That's coming out. The different levels of awakening.
Also, you
have a book that will come out very soon, where I kind of go more into details about these dimensions. Because that's why sometimes there are so many teachings. I talk about the first to 10 dimensions, 11. If science actually agrees now, so this is not just mystical anymore. Science even admits that there are at least 11 dimensions. It's infinite, of course. But 11, 12, 13, and they all have their perspective. So some teacher could be talking from the 4th dimension awakening, and another one from the 5th dimension or the 6th dimension, and they might look opposites. But it's the level of awakening and the depth of it. So that's a whole different topic by itself, So there are many gradations, because it's like when you're like on a building top. If you're like on the 4th floor, you're gonna have a certain perspective, and it's true. You go to a middle floor, you're gonna have a wider perspective, and by the time you get to the highest, it's huge. It's almost so vast, the perspective. Right. And there might be teachings, there might be 4th dimension of faith. People might say, well, which one is true? They are both true. It's just some are higher and deeper, faster.
And just to finish off, I started saying and then I'm going to finish, but when I was saying that the book was with me, and then when I
Oh,
came to
yes.
Australia, I arrived to Australia, then that's suddenly when I started to have all the interest about, I wanted to read the book suddenly. And I feel that, I don't know what connection I had with this land, but it was interesting because what just occurred to me was that it was about 2 years. So I was given the book and it took me about 2 years to read it. Then when I came here, I did a retreat where I heard about one of my core masters, Leonard Jacobson. I heard about him and I bookmarked him in my computer. Didn't touch it until about 2 years, another 2 years. And then one day I just had this guidance, I guess, a thought, like suddenly, out of nowhere, that go and check out this one of these teachers you bookmarked. And I went to his website, and that just, all of that just changed my life. Firstly, the Osho book, and then going to this retreat, and then meeting Leonard is completely. But I guess the soul, I don't know how that works in the soul realm or that preparation, because I was given the book and but I carried it with me for like 2 years. And then I heard about Leonard, but I had to wait for these few years. And then when I went onto his website, it said that Leonard hasn't been in Australia for over a decade and he's coming in 3 months. And I was like, what's going on? It's like a divine guidance.
Yeah, we all guided.
Yes.
We all guided.
It's so mysterious. Like, I can't even explain it. It's like, what?
Yeah, we all guided. And people just don't always listen. We all guided. I mean, with each person on earth, there are at least 4 or 5 guides, but they're not aware of it until maybe they hit their body. Because the universe knows how dense this dimension is. If you're going to send somebody to like a very dense, you're going to get some friends, some more aware friends, like keep an eye on that being over there, so they don't get too lost, on that journey. So those are the guides, our friends, universal beings or awakened beings who are assistants there. Okay, don't do that, do this, it's time for this. So one may have a human teacher, but there are also always more subtle teachers that one may not ever meet in person, but they assist one in a different dimension. It's good to have a human teacher for many reasons. One of the reasons is because that being, it still has the human side, so maybe you have more compassion what it is to be human.
Also relatable.
Exactly. And also for one to have direct access to the other masters or our body, one has to be pretty conscious. And many people are not there yet. You know what I'm saying? So but everyone is here to aware. I think it's clear. It's just a matter of how ready or how interested.
And if one has been in a really bad place, let's say they've been addicted to alcohol, drugs, been hanging out with a certain crowd, then what a lot of these masters say, surrounding oneself with the right people and in the right environment is also very important to make those changes,
And to keep one online a little bit, to track a bit.
Yes.
Because when you have that's why the Buddha, in Buddhism actually is there. There's a Sangha, there's a teacher, the Sangha, and the community.
Right.
That means, for example, you have a mystical experience where everything starts solving. You go out there on the radio and you talk to the wrong person, they'll be like, oh, this guy's gone mad.
Yeah.
It's just a psychiatric issue. Like, they might
have that perspective.
Yeah.
Yes.
But if you have a
They might get
community,
freaked out because you might talk about things
you might
like
think that we're crazy.
Like COVID, I'm joking. Yeah, it's a joke.
I know.
Really, yeah. People think.
Yeah.
I was telling you yesterday, I can guarantee you, if you go to the mental institutions, psychiatric homes, there are at least 1 or 2 awakened beings there. Here and there, maybe not all of them.
Yeah.
But because they were misdiagnosed, they thought they were like somebody saying, I'm all of this, I'm existence.
Yeah.
People are like, this person's gone crazy. What's wrong with this guy? No mental problem or what? So, but those who are more mystically inclined, those who are more aware, or they'll be like, wow, congratulations, keep dipping it. Otherwise, people can start being given psychiatric medicine.
Yes,
And actually
it's
mess them up
happened.
more.
I've heard that.
Yeah. So if you're watching and you find yourself having some mystical experiences or something is going on, maybe you want to talk. I mean, to us first, I make sure that don't start thinking maybe something is wrong.
Oh, you're crazy.
Most people, that's where they go. Because the average person wants to fit in. So when they're having an experience that doesn't match what everyone else is having, they think they're going nuts. Whereas it's almost always the opposite.
Right. Interesting. Yeah.
Yes.
No, for sure. Definitely. And this is the thing, right? Like when Niti said, right? Like when people go into this journey, like, and these things happen to them. Oh, it's funny because I was literally having a conversation with my other friend. He's also going through some stuff. It's kind of weird, like, but like same
Everyone,
stuff. Everyone
everyone,
has some stuff.
somehow.
He's also like a practitioner, but he does on and off. I'll come to that later.
Okay,
But
good.
this one, so the basic one was like I was talking to him and I was like, why do people? Why is the criteria mostly suffering to get to this point? Why is this a thing? Why isn't like someone's very happy and they're like, oh, maybe I should meditate? Why do always
I'm feeling so good today.
I think the
Why?
answer is evident in the question already.
Yeah.
When you said when people feel
In a
why
way.
they feel so good and why would they even bother? Why would they? Because why do people meditate? They want peace of mind. They want to feel good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, though, in a way, it might be an unfortunate thing because again, the perspective is
Yeah.
we are meant to wake up out of just fun, bliss. You have a lot of money, you have abundance, you have a nice house, maybe happily married or relationship or not, or happily single, or one is going for a walk, one is making love.
Yeah.
Wow, that's actually how we're designed. Because this 3D, it has two qualities. Play, it's one of them.
Right.
Play, fun, not from difficulty or suffering. However, most people, unfortunately, don't follow the path of intelligence or awareness. They learn from experience. It's forgive me, because we all have done it, so I think I can say this publicly.
Yeah.
It's an idiotic way of waking up. It's literally like you see that there's fire there,
Yeah.
and you put your hand there, and then you get burned. You're like, oh, now I know this burns. Dude, you could have just been intelligent.
Sounds like me. Sounds like me.
I think all of us until it wasn't.
Exactly, yeah. And once in a while, one might still touch the fire here and there.
Until you saw.
Oh shit, it's burning
I
too
can
much.
burn again.
It's time I like,
Yeah.
put this back.
Probably like about a few times now, and I'm still getting burned. I'm thinking maybe one day I'll touch it, and dude, you touch that thing again, you're gonna get burned. So unfortunately, that's what's been happening to almost everyone. Unfortunately, and maybe there's a bit of because hey, who's to say, right? However, as I am aware of it, is that we were born to awaken as we are. Just fun, going for a walk, even watching TV or the movie theater. You just like, wow, suddenly you're. However, many people that's the path, not joking or making fun of people, like saying, oh, you idiot, whatever. Not, it's just my wish for all of us is that even if one's past has been painful, for the deepening and the awakening to become more joyful and easier. Just because it was painful yesterday doesn't mean it should be painful again today. But people think because it was painful yesterday, they keep choosing it, thinking that that's the way. No, yesterday, I was an idiot. Okay, now, so one pays attention more. And of course, it doesn't mean life is all easy completely. But generally, what happens is less and less suffering. Really, it's really not the situation that suffering is. People don't know what suffering is. People think suffering is being sad, unhappy, not having work. It's not suffering necessarily. Suffering is something deeper. Suffering usually, almost always, is a lack of acceptance. There's no peace, joy. One can be sad and joyful. Yes, in fact, that's actually how we're designed. Joy is a deeper reality. It's the part of the flavor of I am is joy, unconditional, maddening bliss, joy, always here, all peace, unconditional. Even though on the surface there may be sadness, but the suffering is one is in pain, and that's all one is aware of, or one is fighting it. That is the suffering. And that is what people have.
No, like you're right. I was just wondering, why do we have this inclination to always be resistant to change and resistant to that aspect? Like some people are just love to be depressed. They just love the tragic flavor.
It's addiction. It's addiction. You see, it's addiction. When one is used to something, even though it might still hurt. But one is used to it, more than likely one. But this is not a conscious thing, which is why when people talk about this, sometimes I'm like, hey, but it's just a choice. Really? Don't be so cruel. Yeah, it's a choice, it's a truth. But where's the compassion? Because they are choosing it from a place that one cannot really say they're choosing it. They're not aware of it. It's an unconscious choice. And that keeps repeating itself. This is where presence is so key. Because when the more present one is, one becomes more aware of the choices one is making. So it's not really that one stops making it, one becomes more aware of it. And that's why awakening has many levels. At a point, as one is more present, one begins to realize, my goodness, why do I keep choosing? Universe, you make the choice. That is when one really comes home to deep levels of awakening. So there are many layers at the level where one just starts surrender. That what, you know what, I don't even know what I'm doing. Universe knows. Universe, you take it.
I've had an experience.
One is relaxed forever, eternally.
Where I've witnessed that in myself too. It's just, I can't even describe it, but like sometimes just witnessing, it's not me doing anything, it's the universe is taking me through the whole process. It's just happening by itself, and my body just does it. It's
One is
really
relaxed.
Yeah.
Then there's people want to take the credit without the blame. They go together. When something happens, well, I did it. We go on stage, we get the microphone, we walk around, I did that, we start starting. When it doesn't work well, it's the other person. It's not me. I didn't do it. You did that. So my thing is, don't take either. Just give responsibility to the universe. Then you can be relaxed and happy. If it doesn't work out, the universe did it. If it goes well, the universe did it. Then I can relax. Otherwise, for people want the credit. That's the ego. It wants the advantages, but not the disadvantages. It's one package. Just drop it out. Drop off. But who's willing to do that?
I really wanted to also share, I can't help it but to share some of Leonard Jacobson's teaching when he asked why do we need suffering to be even interested in? That was the question, wasn't it? Yeah, well, what he says is that it's humanity's chosen way of waking up, because who wants to wake up out of a happy dream? If everything is really good and happy, no one is interested in meditating and waking up because it's too good. But when life gets really painful, when things are really going wrong, then people start being more interested in waking up and healing themselves and meditating. And so that's what you said, right?
Unfortunately, because it's not, that's very unintelligent.
It's actually very...
It's not intelligent.
Yes.
And then we thought of it that way. That's humanity's chosen
But
way.
check that out.
It's highly unintelligent.
Yes.
Unfortunately, it's the case, but very unintelligent. And we've all been subject to this here and there. It's like, why would you go through and if it was just once that we made those mistakes, sometimes it's life. Some people it's their lives. The same. And life is in, come on. Haven't you realized this? And life is so gentle. Life is so loving. It keeps giving one another chance. Life is
unlimited chance.
Unlimited. Unfortunately.
Too many. I know how it feels.
Same lesson sometimes.
Yeah,
same lesson. I'm not making fun, and it's not really that. I'm just speaking like this so that as a way to strike people, so that all of us, it's time to see living. Come on. However, like you just said, and then I says beautifully, unfortunately, it's what humanity has chosen. But the reason why I'm saying this is so that people don't think that they don't have a choice. That's why I keep mentioning this. Otherwise, people can think, well, that's the way. No, it doesn't have to. You always have a choice to say, okay, you know what? Universe, I'm ready for easy. And that means one has to be very alert. Pay attention. That's how one learns faster. To see. Okay, I see, I get it. Quick. That is part of the beauty of presence and awakening. One sees quicker. That, okay, I made a mistake. It's not about not making mistakes. It's about seeing quickly. Even sometimes before you make it.
That's so interesting you said that, because I'll be honest with you, so this is full disclosure. I've been so I had this chat with the other guy who meditates with, as well, and I've not been meditating at all for the past 1 month as an experiment.
But yeah, no, it's okay.
I'm sorry, but it's literally as an experiment because what I did was after I got initiated, right, I have never missed even one. Even if the quality is a bit not that there, I would still do it. I would be like, no, I have to. And I was like, okay, let's see what happens. Now that I've done it for like a year and a half, whatever, right? Let's see what happens if I don't do it at all. So for 1 month, I didn't do any. I haven't. Even now, I'm not doing anything, and I can see everything changing. Everything become more reactive, more, just out of the blue. I'll just do something crazy, or maybe more impulsive.
That was me yesterday.
Well, that makes me feel bad. But
life is better now.
But I have been meditating though. It happens sometimes.
It happens.
It's that, it's like...
That's the feminine energy, bro. Feminine energy. You gotta do something all the time.
You gotta fix it. That's the masculine way. I need to fix this.
I need to fix this shit, but it's so crazy, what I've noticed, I don't know, probably you guys probably know more than me about this, but when I was meditating, there was no sadness as such. It would come, but it'd be like, oh yeah, sad, whatever, and just deal with it and just move on, right? Now it's more like, it happens, right? Someone says something, whatever, it happens all the time, right? I feel it, I delve in it longer. But because I know how the previous state was, I can use some of that wisdom, not experience now, wisdom, not automatic, just wisdom to be like, oh, don't worry, we can take this out. It's not that thing. You don't need to waste too much energy on it. But I can see the difference. I do react, and it takes longer to me to absorb and leave it, for sure, 100%. It's like 3-4 times more.
Of course.
Longer.
I'm not able to even call it meditation.
Yeah.
What happened was, it's like he's talking to the gym.
Yeah.
And then something happened.
Yeah.
Maybe you had like a big bag to carry.
Yeah.
You're like, I can carry this bag.
Yeah.
You jump into the gym.
Yeah.
So that's what I was talking about just now earlier about the suffering. So the suffering is what makes the triggers painful. The triggers by themselves can be very challenging, but when there's presence and you challenge, it's not the same. Even you may still be angry or sad, but there's a cushion around it. There's a cushion. That cushion.
And you didn't get lost in it, right?
That's the cushion. And it makes it softer. So you may still be angry, frustrated, whatever, but there's something. It makes all the difference. This actually is part of what I'm often doing my best to guide people into. Because many people judge the trigger. They think that's the problem, or this or that. I'm like, the triggers, who wants to be triggered? I can be a bit uncomfortable here and there. Or the presence, is your heart open? Wow, makes all the difference. Then you may still be in pain, so whatever it is, maybe your bill is not paid, whatever, you're angry, maybe you got even reactive here and there. But somehow, there's a peace. That peace, is it is infinite. Nothing touches it. Nothing touches it. Nothing. No emotion, no thoughts, no idea, no past, no future, no problems. It's just this. And of course, that peace might get very intense. You become bliss. But don't look for that. At least, peace is what I often say is in the spiritual realm. The minimum is peace. Peace, that's the minimum. And then peace can become love and bliss and oneness. But this peace. That's why many teachers say, don't look for more than pictures. Because otherwise it can take you to the future. You want bliss.
It's like, imagine not having any thoughts. The mind is really tranquil and silent, and you feel the peace and bliss, right? And even no emotions, you're just feeling so peaceful. One wouldn't want to go and drink alcohol, do drugs. That's why it's so important. Oh yeah, maybe, but then probably doing it a bit, and then why am I doing it? I feel so good. It starts feeling it's not resonant with that state, so one wouldn't even want to do it.
Yeah.
You know.
And if you do, you enjoy it because people don't enjoy anything. People drink alcohol or they don't enjoy it. Why do they enjoy it? Because they are doing it to escape. They are not really enjoying it. The same action depends on who is doing it. If you do it just to enjoy, celebrate, it's very different. But when you do it so that you don't feel the stuff, you're gonna feel your stuff, how can you really enjoy it? It's almost like you smoke a cigarette, but the
Just trying to
smoke,
bury that
yeah,
pain.
you cover the smoke. Don't want anybody to know you're smoking.
Yeah.
You're like, it's like I can really enjoy it.
Yeah.
But when you're present, there is. So yes, people do the smoke, they do alcohol, whatever, to avoid. But that's not the point of this. It's not the point of it. In fact, Dionysius, this being that introduced alcohol to the West, that was on Bacchus, whatever, that's what they were using it for originally. It was not to escape, it was to be able to see. Wow, I feel sad. I really feel it.
Oh, so getting over it as well at the same time. Like feeling it fully.
That's what they are really meant for. It's not to escape.
That's actually such an interesting thing, Susan. Right? Because the culture now is more like they don't want to face it. They don't want to deal with it. They just want to avoid as much as possible until it's not avoidable anymore. Like it's literally every approach in every government, even personal life, professional life, everything is the same story.
Every human is an escape artist.
It's kind of weird,
Escape
right?
artist. Just how they escape, that's what differs.
Yeah.
Escape artists, billions of escape artists.
Yeah.
That's the way it happens. Some people do true work.
Yeah.
They get awards. That's the most dangerous thing. They work. You go, wow, what a workaholic.
Yeah.
Let's give awards. Wow. Continuous assistants. What are they? Why are you working so much?
Productive members.
Yeah. And they get awards for it. They get rewarded.
Yeah, next they're gonna give awards for what an alcoholic does.
Yeah.
Like, okay,
But if you give it to the alcoholic too. If you're going to give it to the workaholic.
Give it to all the holics.
Give it to all the holics. Some people, they work 2-3 days non-stop. And they have a heart attack. And then, of course they're going to have a
It's
heart
not
attack.
really funny, but it's
That's really
So
happened
true.
actually. Like,
Of course they're going to have a heart attack. The emotions, the heart is meant to be empty. As you were saying just now, thank you for sharing that. The heart is not just presence, it's also the being. Being, no emotions. People talk about no thought, no emotions. Wow, what bliss, what freedom. So if one is constantly feeling emotions and they're there and you're not feeling them, they're there, they're going to destroy the heart. It clogs the heart. The heart is meant to be open and free. So of course the person is going to get a heart attack. They're distracting themselves, and because they're not feeling the emotions, it begins to clog their heart. Their heart becomes frigid, and when the heart is frigid, it's going to burst. When it bursts, it will be a stroke, a death sentence.
right.
So one cannot avoid feelings. But it's not because the feeling themselves killed the person, it's because of a lack of holding space for it. Just be. That is the thing.
and that's where all the cancers come from,
Almost,
the diseases,
yes.
all the repressed emotions that have not been dealt with,
Wow.
Yeah. Now I think neuroscience and trauma experts even start acknowledging and talking about
Yeah.
that.
Definitely, can be stress induced for sure. It's
Almost all diseases are. Almost all. Almost all of them. Some are genetic, some are different, a lifestyle here and there, but a lot of it is psychological.
Yeah.
People think they can
A lot.
escape not feeling their feelings. Ha! It's not a matter of how long, not if. They will be.
And the Western medicine is so focused on, they're excellent in surgery and, very advanced, but when it comes to curing illnesses and ailments that are caused by emotion repression, they only cure the surface level.
Yeah,
It's like, just Band-Aid,
stuff.
It's a bandit. That's
It never addresses the root. So, and people are like, they've got back issues, they've got knee operations, all kinds of stuff, and they would never link it maybe that it is emotional stuff. It's a trauma, hundreds of trauma. It's incredible.
And
It's
the funny
really
is-
worth looking into.
I mean, like what she talks about is also very the health part, the physical part. Because when somebody is healed, you can see their posture sometimes. They stand up more erect. They may look more in your eyes longer. They may
Doing
be
both
more.
simultaneously is good.
It's,
Physical and the
absolutely.
yeah.
Because the body is actually the body, depending on the person, everyone is so unique.
Yeah.
Is what actually assists one to deepen in a way. Because the body is almost like this vessel. And if it's unhealthy, it can only hold so much.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Right.
So the healthier the container, more is possible. Well, I've got to be careful when I say that because people can take it to the extreme and say that person is not healthy, that means they're not awake, not conscious. I'm not saying that. Because sometimes the trauma is so deep, so they may be awake or conscious, and their body is so,
But like Edgar
so
told me,
damaged.
he's
You gotta
got
be
like
careful, I don't want.
oh, no, he's so beautiful. Oh my god! But he's publicly said that sometimes he's a bit hunchbacked, and he said that it's the remnants of trauma. It's like a scar that's remained.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The wounds may heal, but the scars may remain. So that's different. One may still have asthma, one may still have physical stuff, but that's just from the past.
So it's not like one's superhuman when they awaken.
That's how people make
I
mistakes.
can't fly. Walk on water.
That's sorcery. And I always make a difference between sorcery and awakened state. People confuse the two all the time. Maybe I think a bit about that. Is that do I have time for that? A bit. The difference between sorcery and awakened state.
Oh, we can go into that, yeah, for sure. Yeah,
that is a bit.
The brief, yeah.
Because
I know where you're going, but it's very
people
deep.
confuse the two. Again, one can be both.
Yeah.
I'm not saying because one is awake, one cannot be also. One can be both, but they're different focus.
Yeah.
Sorcery or the shamanic, whatever you want to call it, is more outer focused. Making miracles, healing people, maybe controlling the elements, nature here and there. Nothing wrong with it.
Manifestation.
Manifestation,
Yeah.
nothing
Very
wrong
popular
with it.
these days.
Nothing wrong with
But
it.
it's not the awakening.
Okay.
It can go along with it, but it's not the same.
No.
Okay? Because sorcery is a mental thing, phenomenon.
Yeah.
Because that's why in that book I go into details about the mind. People say the mind, but there are many layers of mind, there are many levels of mind. At the core of the mind, as one awakens, one begins to see the very deeper nature of the mind. And there's a part of the mind that's called the mental body by some mystics. It is so strong, so powerful, it can make miracles. And that's why many people are doing miracles from. Because the mental body is very sophisticated and strong and deep. It can make miracles, it can cure, it can heal, it can do all kinds of stuff. However, it doesn't mean when it's awake. Because awakening happens on the spiritual, if I soul level, I should say, not even spiritual, the soul level. So that mental body can be fine-tuned and it can do all kinds of wonders in the world. However, one can have a very intuitive and fine-tuned mental body, but blind as a bat.
Yeah, because you get attached to all the stuff you're doing, right?
People get at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the
This
word.
is so fucking amazing. And you're like, oh wow, I can.
Oh, and then they often get identified with it, and I'm
They
this
think that's
great
who they
healer.
are.
I'm a witch. I'm this. I'm that.
I'm strong,
Yeah.
I can do
And
this, I
that's
can do
it.
that.
Sounds like most people, as they identify themselves with their jobs, right? They get good at it and they're like, that's it. That's all I'm going to do.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's pretty much what it is. And that's all their identity
It's
revolves
the ego.
around. Yeah, it's the
The
ego.
manifested ego.
Yeah.
And there's also the spiritual ego,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
And that's more subtle, but also has to be transcended. Spiritual ego at its core is even the spirit. People think only the mind gets cut up. The spirit can get cut up. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, with the Kundalini awakening, people are taking it very deep to the baby, Kundalini awakening, people can start feeling I'm on this chakra. And people on the lower chakra are inferior. For example,
Really?
yes,
Wow.
that's spiritual ego right there.
How does
It's simple,
one
simple
avoid
term.
that? Because, once you get to a state, right, it's very natural for most people. Unfortunately, they will look down on.
I'm on the top floor. You're on the basement. Come on, dude.
That just happens. That just happens. They might sugarcoat it here and there, but it's pretty obvious. The difference is pretty obvious. And then, because the similarity ends, right, they can't empathize anymore. Like, literally. They won't be like,
They think they're better.
yeah.
That's a spiritual thing. Spirits can get caught in it. I'm on it. And that's part of why I talk about it, all like and love people.
Yeah.
If one wants to know if one is caught up in that stuff,
Yeah.
if one is repressing, that will happen naturally. Because one is in the heart chakra, one is all love. one is in the third eye or light.
Yeah.
I'm like lower centers. They're like, no, I don't have that. I've gone beyond that. So if anybody's listening, if that's the tendency, maybe you have that. You start thinking you're beyond something.
Yeah.
That's one of the signs. Because all the chakras are one. It's like having a building and you go to the basement, you go to the top floor. That's actually the awakened state. One can play on any level. You can enjoy sex, you can make love to one's partner, you can work, you can make money, you can also see, have visions, you can love. That's a whole being.
It's full spectrum of understanding. Yeah.
Because who we are, the soul, is actually a witness to the spirit. One literally looks at all the levels, the chakras, and says, I am them all. I can enjoy them all. And yet I am beyond them. I'm not them. That is a deeper I am. So all of them are available.
That makes sense.
This is when awakening is getting a little deeper and deeper and deeper.
So when you said that, right, that the mind thing is completely different as well. Like it's got its own skills and you can develop it crazy.
Exactly.
Crazy.
Exactly.
This observation, sorry. You can,
I was just thinking, I don't know where, maybe it's the stories. Where do we get all these ideas, what the awakening looks like, and enlightenment? Like, I think people often have these ideas that when they get enlightened, and I've also been caught in that silliness, is one thinks they're going to be like, have superpowers, they can, like, all the problems are going to be solved, they're not like, they're going to be superhuman. But you know what they've said in Zen stories, like, what did you do before awakening? Like a Zen master who says, I chopped wood and carried water. What did you do after? I chopped wood and carried water. So what's the difference? One is doing, before he was in a dream state. And now he's conscious. So that's it. But the life, it doesn't have to change. You can still drink a glass of wine. It doesn't mean that you don't have any problems anymore. And that
or issues or anything.
As I'm learning.
Wow, that's a low blow.
One of the most honest people.
a bit too honest sometimes.
Super honest. I like that. I love it.
But it's very important for us is that we want to make it really real.
Yeah.
Because I think it looks like everyone's looking like, the guru is up here.
Yeah.
And it's unachievable. No one's ever going to attain perfection.
Yeah.
So what we want to do is to show that when one is awake, fully awake or awakening and has awakening states, you can, you're not superhuman.
Yeah.
But that's not the point of awakening.
Yeah.
And those who are looking for this, that's part of why I actually talked about all this stuff. Those who are, sorry, I hope I didn't cut you on that. Those who are looking for superhuman stuff, they're really awakening. In fact, they're delaying it. Because a part of the reason for that is they will get caught up in their minds sooner than later. Because they will be judging themselves for sure. And judgment is one of the things that one has to be watchful for. They're going to judge themselves. Because they may be in a very conscious state or in one of those moments when they're present, they will be like, but I'm still angry or I feel desire. They're going to negate that experience. And to negate that experience is not to honor it. So that's why I tell people that if you're present for a second, don't go, but I wasn't present 2 years ago. Who cares? Right now, honor it, celebrate it. But I'm present. Then what's going to happen is it's going to get deeper and deeper.
Right.
You're honoring it.
Yes.
Then it's going to get faster. But if you say, no, that's not awakening. Oh, Rumai or my guru or Leonard or Osho or that's what it is, like Oluwa or Niti or you. You are disrespecting yourself. It's a disrespect to say what you felt in that moment is not the real thing. And people wonder why they don't love themselves. Love yourself when you don't honor yourself. A moment of ecstasy, dance, thank existence, write a song. Be grateful. Thank you, universe. Oh my goodness, this life I got a moment of pleasure. Oh, thank you so much. Then it gets so vast. This is some of the secrets.
Yeah.
Some of my friends as well have the same exact problem.
Everyone on this spiritual journey, almost everyone.
He basically has a problem with the alcoholic situation, keeps falling back into it, but then he tries to go, okay, I'm not going to, and then again. And he feels so, like you said, he feels so bad, he starts judging himself. Yeah. And then he thinks, like, other people will also judge me, I don't want. So it becomes this weird situation where it's already not a good situation, and they make it worse by assuming that other
And
people will.
that actually makes them drink more.
Yeah,
Because
and they will
feel
fall
guilty
more.
and
Yeah.
judge themselves,
Yeah, yeah,
because that self-hatred, that actually that pain of it actually perpetuates it.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course, that's what's going to happen to people. But people don't see the root cause of their suffering. They don't see it. And one of the root causes of that suffering, one of the roots, is judgment. How can one love oneself if one is constantly judging oneself?
But then the argument usually with a logical person,
Of course,
would be that if a logical person would look at me like, hey, if you don't judge yourself, you'll never improve because you'll just do the same shit again and again, right? That would be the argument.
Thank you for that. That's good. That's a good point.
Very,
So
very
how do we escape? What is the perfect line that we have to follow or whatever? I don't know.
Nothing to escape, number one.
Escape. I'm already. See, I'm not. You can see I'm not meditating because I'm like, how can I escape this situation?
Well, the escape out is right.
I'm trying.
It's okay. You know, actually, that's part of the practice.
Yeah.
Just say, I'm an escape artist.
Yeah.
Say it.
I'm an escape artist. Yes.
Admit it. What's the
I'm
problem?
an escape artist. Big time.
What's the problem?
Everyone is.
You got a PhD, do you? Or did it?
I think I'm the university dean of that one.
It's not laughing. You see, it's laughing. It's real. I'm simplifying this. I make mistakes. It's the simplest thing. Just say it. Then you're going to start laughing. Yes.
Yeah.
But I think we want
That's
to
what
fit
you're
in.
doing.
Right?
That's the problem.
That's what we get caught.
This is the human condition issue, because everybody tries to fit in, and no one wants to be left out and judged. So we're trying to pretend because no one likes to be honest and show what their issues are and that they don't have this issue. That's why we don't want to even admit it, because we want to fit in.
Yeah. For example,
Why do you want to fit in? It's love.
Yeah.
They want to be loved.
Love.
It's just don't want to be judged.
Yeah. Why? It's a love. At the core. People tell me, oh, they have a different life lesson. I have this. I'm like, just simplify it. If you're a human being, I can almost rest assured you. It doesn't have to be your core. You have love issues. Love. If people want power, the man says, I don't give a shit about love. I don't care about love. I want power. Why do you want power?
Yeah.
Why do you want power?
Feel accepted to some extent.
Love. If I'm powerful, they'll love me. They'll accept me. It's the root. We're going deep. It's the root of it. Love is so basic. One wants to commit suicide if one doesn't feel love. It's like more than air. It makes one feel good. Love.
Well, they have even studies that, or not even, but babies who were abandoned and not loved, they die very quickly. They die. But those who receive love, at least some level of love, they want to thrive. It's the food, for the soul.
Why bother breathing?
Yes.
But the mistake many people made, and I just because we're going to say something. So.
I actually don't remember.
Oh,
I was
sorry, I
like more.
apologize.
No, it's okay.
Yeah,
Go with the flow.
they are looking for other people to give it to them. We all make that mistake. That to look for other people to give, and guess what? They're looking for us to give it to them.
Like give what? Like
love.
Right. So they're looking for someone to give them love.
Make them feel loved.
Right.
And they are looking for you. You're looking to them, they're looking at you. Who's going to do it?
So what is how do they look at it? Then how do they approach a situation? Be like, okay, I want to feel accepted, but I don't want, this thing where I'm just seeking for someone's approval or something. How do they just be approved on their own? Because
there are many layers to it.
Right.
One layer, like the Magic Jacobson does at the retreat, it's beautiful. Just admit it. The tendencies. I'm looking for love. I'm addicted to it. Oh, do you love me? You don't love me?
We often ask who in this room wants this, is like this and that, and there is almost every hand goes up, which is really huge.
Just admit it.
Yeah.
But not just admit it. This is where it gets to be tricky. Because people can start indulging. And then they start, just where, No, that's not the point. The point is the awareness, the intelligence. Awareness is intelligence. To say, wow, that's my tendency. Are you going to keep doing that? You know the consequence. That's intelligence. It's not just to keep doing it, but now you've seen it. And if you're going to keep doing it, at least know that there are consequences. At least admit that. At least admit.
Yeah.
People get caught. Well, I honor it. So that means it's okay to go around cussing people out. I'm just an angry person. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. I'm an angry person. No, you are angry. Now what you're gonna do? You're gonna feel it. You're gonna find intelligent ways to express it. Intelligent.
Yeah.
It has to be intelligent. And there are so many intelligent ways. So many ways. I mean, so many. One of them is what? For example, anger. I'm trying to say this. I once went to like a gun range in California.
Yeah.
Gun range. Just really present. Really present. Take deep breaths. Shoot. I did talk about human. You're talking. I have to be clear about this. People might be like, well, at the gun range. Looking for people to shoot at. No. That's unintelligent. That's what violence is.
Yeah.
It's a difference between violence and expression of anger.
Yeah.
Violence is mean, it's nasty. One is crushing somebody else's freedom.
Yeah.
Dumping it on them, that's violence.
Yeah.
But if I go and I just shoot, I just been expressed.
Yeah.
And I don't have to dump it on anybody that I've come across. But if it's just there, one is like a volcano ready to erupt on everyone. So again, these are really deep. Somebody will say complex. I won't say complex. But somebody say complex. It's so multifaceted. But we're just talking about this quickly. So if you're confused about this, don't worry. It will be a bit confusing.
Yeah.
These are things that are addressed in sessions and things like that. Because everyone is so unique. This is why I love talking about personality type. Because your personality, your main personality, is more than likely, almost always, where one is caught.
Because you've identified yourself too strongly with it? Okay.
And they desire, every personality has their main desire. For example, 9s, they want peace. That's what they want. Right? That's what they want. But guess what? They start repressing what they want. In the end, I'm talking about like they are the householder. They don't care about what they want.
Yeah.
Because they want peace. That's not a real peace, that's artificial peace. So they sacrifice to get that, right? So one has to just know that, that's why that's my main issue. It's my main personality type. That's why it's very important for people to know their main archetype so that they can know what to be really aware of. If one is a 4, for example, maybe an artist, a mystic, one is going to have the thing about being special.
Yeah.
Everybody to, maybe be special.
Yeah.
Not to repress it. That's my tendency.
Yeah.
To need to be special. Okay.
I wonder, I just had actually a question. Do you mind to ask a question too? Because I also like to hear. Why would the soul choose that particular personality?
Beautiful. You guys, I love the questions. Why choose that?
Yeah.
Very simple.
If you can choose any, like why that particular one with these issues and all
You
that?
know the answer, yes. If that's the core thing that one is caught, why would the soul choose it?
Well, obviously they hear that, right?
Exactly.
Yes.
That's something I want us to look at. So life said in the former life, it was hidden. Now look at it. It is so strong in you. You are very ambitious. You want power. You're power driven.
So that's the wound or that karma or that that the soul needs to work out. That's why they choose that. It's like, what lessons, what do I need to heal? Okay, let me see. Okay, reincarnation.
This one is so big. I mean, if one is so nice and loving, it's because one wants to be loved. It's so simple. You're obsessed with it. Of course, that's the life lesson. Or power. You try with everything. You can't give way or share power. Definitely, you have power stuff. Not to judge it, just see it. I don't my stuff. And then, this is why we talk about the master. Leonard Jacobson talks about the master lesson and the let me say it my way because he says it. So, but he also mentions it. The master way is to be present. When one is present, when one is in the moment, when you really hear, all the dimensions has healing, all of them, power, all of them, because they are all resolved here. So if you hear, everything starts getting resolved.
Mm-hmm. That's really beautiful.
You hear. That's why
that's why I love, like, that presence really does take care of everything.
Almost everything.
All that one needs to, pretty much, needs to focus on. It's just deepening into that state.
The reason why I say almost, not because it's not true, but it's because often people understand present as like consciousness. Aware, to be aware of stuff, aware of your hands moving. So people think of it like that. So that's part of it. The other half is the feminine, the love, the bliss, the peace. So as I was saying earlier, and maybe I'll speak more on this because it's often not talked about. People talk about the silence of the mind.
Yeah.
How about silence of the heart? Because the emotions, if one is very emotional, how can one be at peace? It's like constantly thinking. So much feelings, emotion. Get up. The heart cannot be the rest. Constantly. So as one opens one's heart and opens up, less and less feelings and emotions. And that's what peace is. Less feelings. It's like a cloud. Look at the sky. Imagine the sky is like the heart. And there's no cloud. You can see the sun shining. But there are clouds. And the emotions are more or less like clouds. But not to judge them and say they're wrong.
Yeah.
People start doing that. That means I need to get rid of this anger so that I can be at peace. No. It is to be at peace, even though there may be clouds there. Because the being, the I am, is so all of us. No clouds can cover it. No clouds. It's like the sun. It could be so cloudy, but that doesn't mean the sun is not shining. But if one is focused on the cloud, the one will forget about the sun, which is the situation of almost everyone on the planet. They are too concerned with the clouds. And awakening is to say, yeah, there may be clouds.
Yeah.
But I am. Now what's the problem? Of course, it might be very uncomfortable because the clouds won't feel so good. Well, and the irony of it is because one is now more identified with the being, the clouds start melting. And they might come as tears or triggers. The triggers are like rainfall. It's the cloud dissipating. Because now the being is blazing. It's intense now. People say, but I have students and client friends and like, I've been meditating for years and I still get triggered. I'm like, so what? You're like, what do you mean? So what? You're aware of it.
Yeah, that's so true. That's
aware of it.
People don't realize how important it is that awareness. They're so ahead in that, like you're already one step so ahead of other people. Other people don't even know that is happening with them.
Well, actually, what the awareness also does brings the choice into one's life and freedom.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have awareness, how can you make a choice or be free to choose which one?
Yeah.
You know, so that's a very important key.
Yeah.
Yes.
What do you?
The awareness. Yeah. Awareness makes it big. In fact, that's why teachers focus on awareness a lot.
Yeah.
Not because it's the whole truth.
Yeah.
But if people can even just have awareness, it will solve almost all that stuff. Because awareness, if one is not aware and one has a razor, it's going to keep cutting one's head.
Right.
But when you see the razor, it might still cut one's head, but less chances because you can see it. It's so simple.
It's kind of weird because, it gets harder for people who are so invested in their thoughts and emotions. So what do they do? Like, because now, even with the younger generation, the trouble is, right, they're so, like, for example, to be very honest with you, over here especially, if you have different political views, in Australia, all people say that in India as well. If you have different political views, they won't hang out with each other. Like, literally, it's crazy. I was like, dude, are you serious? Like, you just have a different opinion on something and you're not going to be like, what? That doesn't make sense at all. But it's crazy, it's happening now. Like, people are making these silos, brackets for themselves.
I think it's stronger during COVID because there was this unvaxxed and vaxxed, and I think it created a bigger split
very big
in the differences. Like, oh, you're on this side, it made it
more pronounced, more obvious.
Yes, exactly.
And correct. I agree. Yeah, more
because
obvious.
I didn't notice it as much before, But I think during COVID it was clearly like
Yeah,
some
you
people
could see
were
that
that
straight
side,
up.
that people there. You know, it was like
And
the
it was-
division began.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it was one of those
Exactly.
situations, right, when you have something like that happening. Rational thought usually goes out of the window.
Who cares about
Yeah, no one gives a shit about it. They just want to
When
be
life is at
safe,
stake.
They just want to be right. But that's the strengthening
Life
of
is at
the
stake.
ego.
Yeah.
Survival.
Yeah, isn't that the strengthening of the ego too? Somehow, maybe, I don't know if it's true, but somehow maybe it got stronger because the ego is the one that wants to be right, wants
Correct,
to,
yeah.
correct.
Yeah.
Survival.
And the resistance, so all these things is,
It's survival.
you know?
Of course. I mean, my view, it's survival. Because, think for example, a professor at the university is very rational and Einstein, and he's in the forest. He has no one to talk to. He's hungry. You think he's going to be doing philosophy?
No.
It's going to be maybe even more primitive than a primitive man. It's going to be on his hands and knees with his spears looking to hunt the lizard.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
to eat.
Yeah.
Survival is core. That's one of the reasons why I and many ministers would agree that these moments require presence. Because people are getting triggered. And it's not just regular trigger, it's survival. The politics, the money, all this stuff. It's not just like philosophy
Even
anymore.
health,
It used to be
sickness.
philosophy.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, you can hang out in salons and you can talk about this, have a cup of tea and then forget about it.
Yeah.
No, it's existential. So people don't have time or patience to listen to somebody that they think might be endangering their life,
Yeah.
but they're scared that they may die. So I'm not justifying what they're doing, obviously, no.
Yeah.
Not justifying it, but compassionate it. Like, okay, that person is scared. They're going to die. Are you talking about rationality and science? They don't want to hear it because they think they're going to die. So this is one of the reasons why I think I was mentioning yesterday when I used to teach philosophy at Professor and I saw almost all of them didn't care about it when I was in the university. Maybe one or two in the front were interested or in the back. Because they didn't think they needed it to survive, or to get a job, or to be prosperous. And that is the mistake many people make. Just because something is not practical doesn't mean you're not going to need it. This is essential. However, it's a luxury. This is why I am not against science, technology.
Yeah.
People say, well, you're a mystic. I'm like, right? I say, science. But I also realize they are luxuries. Who wants to build the pyramid? They haven't eaten. Who wants to read the literature book when they're starving? So that's why I agree with Osho. And it's part of what I'm sharing too. It's like, let there be abundance. Let them have money. Let them have all of it. Because when they have it, some people, fortunately or unfortunately, they learn through experience. If you say that $1 million is not going to make them blissful, they're not going to believe you. Let them have it. Let them have $1 million. Let them have $10 million. Let them get it. Because the money is not what fulfills or success. However, people make the mistake thinking, well, if I drop the money, it happened in India. They drop the money and the success, thinking that will make them happy. And they are miserable in the Himalayas. Yeah, some of these yogis, they are bad tempered. Because they're hungry, they're starving, they're pissed off, they don't have one place to stay. They're angry and they have powers with it. They're pissed. Because everything has its purpose. You may be enlightened if you're in the cold, you may feel a bit cold. So everything, this is what I share. Everything is valuable. Just put them where they belong. Everything has value. So don't think the money, that's why people go in their desperation. The millionaires feel like, well, if they drop the money, then they'll be happy. No. What really creates the suffering is not what one has or not, or what one is doing necessarily or not. It is who is doing it. Do you know who you are? Are you conscious? Are you blissful? Unconditionally? Or at least at peace? Unconditionally? It is, of course, less attachment. But if your peace is attached to that thing, how are you going to be detached? It's almost impossible. It's literally. Because they think that's who they are. So it's a multidimensional awakening. That's what I'm really wishing for. Humans. Multidimensional awakening. That's what I really feel. Because once for all of us. Why not? But if you choose not to have money, then that's fine too. I'm not saying you have to.
Yeah.
But for those who are really like young kids,
Yeah.
they like money, they want abundance, they want technology, you're going to tell them not to have that. They're going to tell you to show your stuff where you
no, for sure, 100%. Yeah.
or not to party, have fun.
Yeah.
No, let them just bring presents, bring your heart, open up. And then the irony of it, the irony is when one is really present, open-hearted, for the first time, one begins to enjoy everything. This is the thing. How can you enjoy drinking this cup of water?
Everything is different.
If I'm doing business in Dubai right now and I'm drinking this water, I'm not even drinking water
Yeah.
because I'm in Dubai. If I'm drinking here,
The flavor of life is amplified. Yeah.
This is why I say awakening is the most practical thing. People think it's a luxury. It is practical. You can't enjoy anything if you're not. You can't because you're going to be alone. When you're making love, you're going to be shopping. When you're shopping, you're going to be making love. When you that's what people are doing all over the place. They're doing this. They're doing something else in their mind. How can you really enjoy it?
True.
Especially now.
It's not a luxury. It's really.
In Australia, especially, there's a big mental health crisis right now. Like even the suicide rates, like out of four people, 3 of them are male.
I didn't even know that. I didn't know that. In Australia.
I actually haven't heard it.
In Australia.
One of my friends, my really close friend's colleague in work, he just committed, I think he just went to a forest. Like it happened, like missing person was reported like 2 weeks ago, and then they found him in the forest.
How old was at what age was
I think he was in his late 30s or something. It's not even
long, man.
Yeah, so it's like, and I'm seeing this happen recurrently, even in my company. Like I'm seeing people who they're like have some sort of confidence issue, depression, society is too hard on them, XYZ, and it's very sad to see this right now happening. It seems like what you're doing, what I'm doing is so much more important now, more so than
essential services, really.
because it's about survival, like you said.
Essential services, yeah.
I'm like, dude, you have everything, food, shelter, clothing, and you're creating this,
I think we're trying to live up to almost like an impossible standard,
yeah.
isn't it? Like we're trying to have it all and work hard and trying to achieve and trying to be this and that. So that is the ideals that are put out there. We're trying to live up to them, and we can't, and for whatever reason, to get that love, to get that admiration, to get that, because we feel empty inside.
People feel completely empty.
Yeah.
And then they want to be something. People often say they want to be somebody. I'm like, wow, really? Why do you want to be somebody? Why would you want to do that to yourself? That's ego. That's what ego is. Because who we are is everything and nothing. So people experience it as emptiness because they're not aware. This very emptiness is bliss, is the beauty. If one can confront it, this emptiness, people don't want it. Oh, it's empty. Everything is in everything. It's in this so-called emptiness. It's the most beautiful thing. It's actually what everybody wants, but they do everything to avoid it. So they want to be somebody. That's the root of it. If I'm a famous movie star, then I can feel like I'm somebody. If I have a partner, if I have money, then I can be. No, just as I have.
No, 100%.
Also, I seem to, I don't know because I didn't read the statistics actually, to be honest, but I know that many of my friends who are mental health practitioners, they said that actually started during those lockdowns. It never got talked about in the mainstream media.
Yeah.
But what was happening globally was that there were more deaths from teenage suicides, drug overdoses, deaths from domestic violence than ever before during lockdowns, and more than COVID deaths. Yes, and it never got reported because they were in the industry. They're in the industry. They said they've never seen anything like it. And my feeling is that ever since those lockdowns and all of that, people started to have more and more depression, suicidal issues. I feel that this is what's happened.
No, it's
No more distraction.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Because then they had to really
They had to be with themselves.
Yes, had to really be with themselves suddenly. They were forced.
Yeah, I was literally looking at a stat and it literally says, like, in 2021, the death by suicides were around 3,144 in Australia, which has a population of 24 million. That's crazy. Like
2021?
In 2021. So it was more in 2022, definitely, for sure.
And this year,
it's probably going to be more. And they're saying like an average of 9 deaths per day. That's crazy.
Wow.
Like in a population of 25 million, that's nuts actually.
It's unbelievable. Yeah,
there is something happening on a global, universal level, isn't it? Like that awakening, that call to awakening more and more. Like, I don't know one person, I don't know, everyone's going through such a difficult time, really, like everyone. And I think it's really helpful to hear that because people don't like to feel alone. And if they know that.
With the guys, it's so rough. Like out of the 4 suicides, every 3 is the dude.
You know, actually, that's actually like.
Manage their emotions.
Actually, that's actually classic.
Yeah, it's.
Men commit suicide more than
yes,
women.
I've heard that
the
before.
ratio is much more
Women are better at expressing their emotions.
Yeah, and that's what happens exactly, right? They don't. Like, what's happening now, especially, is that the outlet is going off for guys. I've noticed that about. There are certain expectations, especially with, like, the dating game and all that stuff. It's just become this hyper-inflated social, sphere where the standard is just too crazily high, and you, even if you are identified as someone being mediocre or at some level, acceptable, you yourself will not accept that. In reality, you'll be like, okay, I'm in that situation, but it becomes very hard for them to achieve a certain goal or something. I don't know, like a mental block where they think that they can never. Get to that point?
Yeah.
Or something like it's kind of weird, like, situation.
Relationships are where I haven't studied this, but I can almost guarantee you, most depression is has to do with a relationship.
Right.
People feeling alone, unloved. That's what I was saying. Sorry, I was saying earlier that it's one of the big things about. Sorry about this.
Time to wake up, everyone.
Thank you. Yes, alarm clock now. Yeah. So I forgot what we were saying.
Actually, I forgot to.
Presence.
I started laughing.
Yeah.
Yes. When we're talking about the suicide and depression.
Yeah, suicide rate. Yeah, the depression.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's emotional.
Yeah.
Like you were saying.
Also, I'm sorry if I might say that in the mainstream. There is something that I like natural medicine and I like medicine overall, but I read some papers. They found that actually people who had the vaccine are more prone to be depressed as well. I don't know.
That's proven. Yeah.
Yes, I think it's to do with probably often with heavy metals. Heavy metals can make one depressed.
Yeah.
There's a lot of new technology, nanotechnology that they've used, So I don't know, maybe because it hasn't been researched, they don't know the full outcome, the side effects. But I would recommend doing like a detox, like a big detox if you've had the vaccine.
Maybe did.
And yes,
right?
And well, anyway, because our world is so polluted, like the water, the air, everything. You have to keep detoxing like every day.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about this last time as well, that the nutrition value itself is so low for fruits and stuff. Like if you had a fruit like 20, 30 years ago, that one orange is equivalent to 4 oranges now.
But do you know what they found?
What?
The oranges that are in the supermarkets, and you think you're getting your vitamin C, have 0 vitamin C.
No, wait, here?
They've done it. They studied in America. I'm not sure. Yeah, sometimes I read American, Australian. Yeah, but that's what they found, and I expect I expect WA is even worse. You know why?
Why?
Because WA has some of the most ancient soils. They're extremely mineral depleted. So, in order to get minerals and nutrition, the right nutrition from food, you need to grow the food in mineral-rich soil. If it's depleted, it doesn't. That's where the tree gets all the nutrients from the soil.
For sure,
if it doesn't have them, it can't be in the fruit. So, this is my area of passion and expertise as well as
No, but like you're right. Like if you're not eating,
so supplements. are a good option for now.
Yeah.
You know, until we solve that issue.
Yeah.
And I know. I think there is an Indian. What's the woman? Is it Vananda Shiva? She's a very proactive. Even
the soil lady.
yeah, even Sadhguru actually is very involved in that, and he talks a lot about that too.
No,
the health of the soil, and we just haven't. Well, it's been the commercial production of everything, and they've depleted the soils. The way they farmed is just horrific.
Yeah.
There is different ways to do it. You can actually keep replenishing the soil. You can put nutrients into it. But I don't know why they chose that way. And also glyphosate leaches minerals out of soil.
Right.
That they use it in Australia, in America, everywhere. They use a lot of glyphosate.
Wow.
Yes.
Anyway, wow.
That's
That's a different topic.
Wow.
But the body, to take care of the body,
Such a
very
wow.
important.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And what you said actually makes a lot of sense actually. Like the health of the people.
Well, the human body is made of minerals. We need, there are key minerals that we need. If we don't have these key minerals, because we're depleted because of stress, wrong diet, so many other things, or toxins,
It's the norm.
we get sick and we get depressed and all this happens. So it's also, we have to do both. We have to do that work mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically too.
Because actually the body actually also affects the mind.
Absolutely. It's the body-mind, right?
Body-mind.
Yeah.
That's why people can do stuff and their mental state changes. It's the body mind. So as you say, the health, which you may like, talked a lot about, about, is also important too. Because the food one eats affects one not just emotionally, if I might say, even intelligence. Intelligence. I always say, and I'm not
gene
against
expression.
I'm not against the meat. I mean, I have family and I love it, but it has an effect. It's scientific.
Oh, yes.
When you don't eat it, it affects you. I mean, no judgment. Just eat this. Don't believe it. Try it out. Don't eat meat or chicken or fish for like a day or two. Even a day or two sometimes. I think you feel lighter. You'll be happier. Even.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you'll be happier. Why? Because when the animals are often sacrificed or they killed, they die with intense trauma. They die in trauma stress. So where do you think all the chemicals is going to go? To the flesh. The flesh. And then when it's eating that, one wants to be happy.
That's what.
And everything is energy. It's all energy anyway. Even this.
I'm not judging it. I'm not saying don't eat it if you love it. I mean the taste of it, the goodness of meat. Actually, I'm not against it. But sometimes when I should be just, and people have to be more scientific. People argue. I'm like, don't argue. Just do it. Try it. Do the experiments. Be scientific. And if it doesn't make a difference for you, maybe when you're in reality. Some people are rare. They don't. It doesn't affect them. But for most humans, when they can see it, suddenly the energy drops. Because it's heavier. Like you were saying, heavy metal and things like that.
Because even for me, like you said, right, the animal sacrifice, it relieves all this chemical. That's what the halal meat is like specifically.
If you're gonna eat me, at least eat halal.
Like legit, my understanding is that when they do it in such a way that it's just like
then it's more relaxed.
It's very relaxed. So it's like not like how
not murder.
It's not like murder basically. So
because they're much nicer. I mean, I'm not saying much nicer, much sweeter, and the animals are well fed or taken care of. But in this industrial farm, the animals are literally tortured with in the cages. They're stressed out. They feed all kinds of shit that they don't like to eat, but they have to eat or the rest of die. They're stressed out. So then when they die, their whole life was hell, and then they died in hell.
And we have we need neurotransmitters. The brain needs connection. So if the nutrition is bad, we don't have good connection between both hemispheres, and the connection doesn't work.
100% for sure.
So one can get depressed again. So why is it important to have all this healthy lifestyle? And oh my God, like what works for me is just go for a jog, go for a walk every day in the sunshine. If possible, fresh air, and just like the physical activity that just triggers all these feel-good hormones that then help to deal with depression. It's very important.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the physical, absolutely. People like COVID to go to the sun. I'm like, whoever said that doesn't know what you're talking about. How can the sun hurt you?
Oh my goodness. Vitamin D, actually, one of the most vital things.
Hello? What? that to me was one of the times when I began to say, oh, I gotta pay my attention.
Yeah.
The sun is dangerous.
Yeah.
If the sun is dangerous, let's not just leave the planet. Get away from here. What's the point? The sun is so beautiful, so love. When one really deep into, one begins to sense the sun within oneself, and it's so vast in love that the sun blazes, unconditional love. That's why they call it the soul in Spanish.
Oh,
S-O-L, soul.
So, isn't that beautiful?
Part of the soul is the sun. The
Yes.
sun.
So-
The sun is blazing.
So,
The sun starts blazing as one deep is present. It's so
because
blaze.
it's so much light, there's like
The
a soul,
love
it's full of light.
is this intense, it just radiates on everyone and everything, unconditionally. The sun. If you can't at least feel it in your body yet, hopefully you can in your beat, just go out there and drink it.
I also read an interesting fact, which I like, is that the sun is apparently 400 times bigger than the moon and 400 times farther away than the moon. Isn't it something like that? So can you imagine how enormous it is?
Yeah, 100%.
It's like, can't even imagine the power of energy.
Love.
Life-giving
The
energy.
love. It comes if one can really be very present, silent, and try this experiment,
Yeah.
people aren't open to the sun.
Yeah.
The being.
Yeah.
It really is a being. It's part of who we are
Yeah.
on the being level. And earlier, I don't want to forget this,
Yeah.
I don't know to say, but I think this is very important.
Yes.
Relationships that many men and women are struggling. And what I see, just to say this, part of what we talked about, what I want people to understand and hopefully explore, and the healing is part of what is happening in terms of relationship between men and women. As I see it, that conversation with the people, my life is oftentimes, not always the case, the misunderstanding between the masculine and the feminine.
Right. Interesting.
Yes. So that's part of the reason why it is so challenging sometimes. I'm looking, I'm like, you put it in.
No, I'm only doing it because I think your microphone is on that way, so I'm gonna.
Thank
Only
you.
if you look
Appreciate
this
it.
way, yeah.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. If a man, for example,
Yeah.
to be very simple.
Yeah, I was about to ask like an example.
Right.
You could explain it.
Yeah. If a man goes on a date,
Yeah.
for example, I'm being general here,
Yeah.
and it's not very emotionally sensitive,
Yeah.
and it's in his mind, and he's thinking, a date will work out, they might end up in the fight.
Yeah, or they will just go their own way.
Or women shouldn't say men,
Yeah.
because there are women who are so very masculine.
Yeah.
So somebody who's very masculine,
Now more than ever, actually. Yeah, for sure.
so from one California, like, wow, that's a dude.
Yeah.
I'll be nice to you, just don't kick my ass.
Don't think my ass out.
I'll be nice. I don't want to go there. I can imagine finding people think they're the most horrible person. Finding a woman, they wouldn't know that's a man, really.
Right.
Just like, hey, you know.
Oh my
Sounds
God.
like you speak from person.
No, no, really, actually, no.
No pointers.
No, no, no. I guarantee you, no.
Humor is important.
People we just laughing about it, no. But I've seen some in their interaction.
Yeah.
And it's not like they're being fake, they really are very masculine.
Yeah.
So I don't want them to feel left out and think because they're a woman, they have to be. No, some women have way more masculine than some men.
100% for sure.
Way more. Not just physically, psychologically, spiritually.
Yeah.
Because there are men that I've met. No. Soft. So sweet.
Yeah.
So nice. Women.
It's a woman, yeah.
Really? So it's not about male, female. We have to get that out of people's mind.
Right.
We're so conditioned, oh my God, in my culture.
Male, female.
If a man doesn't look like
Walking around
that,
like that,
that's not a man.
Why do you think? Yeah.
You have to walk around like this, okay? So when you go to
Yeah, like that.
walk around like that, it's going to take a week.
Like you're carrying watermelons.
Whatever they are.
Of course, nothing wrong with it. I
You
don't want to.
don't
But also like to work out and take care of the body and like, of course, go for it. But that don't identify. I think that's the only way to be masculine.
Why does that
Very
happen?
important.
Why does this whole thing about gender dysmorphia is also a big thing, right? Like people not being able to identify themselves with the gender. That's become like a thing now. Right?
Yes.
Why does that happen? What is this logic where I'm just asking, like, what do you think? What happens? Like, is this the soul that comes in? What is
It's
that?
a very beautiful question, actually.
Yeah.
And yes, it has to do with the energy. As I was just saying earlier, there are women a lot of masculine energy.
Yeah.
And if they grew up in a society where they were told that to be masculine is not right, they would start thinking that they need to change their sex so that they can get the respect. So they're looking for acceptance. But if they were to talk to me, for example, I would say, just because psychologically you are very masculine, and you have a female body, it doesn't have to match. It is a judgment. That just because one has, it's judgment. That if a woman is very, you have to all, no, accept that I'm psychologically masculine, with I'm in a female body. Or a man. A man is in a very masculine body, psychologically like a woman, very sensitive, very, it's how you're made. So, but people are not taught this, so they judge it. Again, self-love. They think.
No. Please go ahead. Keep saying.
They think they're in the wrong body. Of course, they're going to think they're in the wrong body. Because a man that's so emotional, cries like every movie. Alright?
Yeah.
And it's in the main body. It's going to feel like maybe I should just cut up so that I can then fit in. Now they're women. But guess what? It's one of the most painful things, which is why I don't talk about it publicly.
Okay.
Because they did it because they're traumatized. And they still don't feel accepted.
Interesting.
Because people say they're not real. And this is what they want. Can you imagine the pain?
Also, as I see it, honestly, I see every movie, even ads and songs, encourage that too.
That's true.
And human mind is very, very it can be influenced so easily. And I feel that sometimes people might not even be gay or transsexual, but maybe they get that influence.
That's true.
They get convinced.
They get that convinced like this, because it happens over and over again, that what they see, and a lot of people are going there.
Yeah, people are programmed.
That could be also another reason why.
Of course. Because it's children. You have transsexuals teaching 5-year-old children. That's dangerous. If a boy is gay, he knows he's gay. If a girl is gay, she knows. She's going to figure it out.
Yeah.
Why are you telling them? Because that age, there's a saying among the Jesuits, they say, and I'm paraphrasing, give me a child from age to their 7. And they say, and they done it and they do it. And I can predict the kind of adult they'll be.
However,
several years. They've been confused now. Now they don't know who they are. So of course they're confused. As opposed to actually knowing they're gay or trans, now they don't even know it. Because it was given to them before they were ready.
I actually knew a spiritual teacher.
Also conscious thought, confusion is easy for them.
I actually knew a spiritual teacher who, I think she called, it's she now. It was she was born with a male body, but she was intersex. They call them intersex. It's not very common. I think it's a male born with some parts might be female. Yeah, I looked it up, but I forgot what it means. But she said that she was born with looking like a man, but she always felt like a woman. And I don't fully understand it, because I think, how we can think like, if one is awake, and she's really beautiful teacher, she's really awake in love, conscious being, for sure.
Truthful, very truthful.
Honestly, and very unauthentic, very humble. Yeah. There is no doubt that she's not awake. But there are maybe still parts of her might have been unhealed, like there's I don't know. But she had that operation, to become more and more female looking.
So she completely has transitioned?
Pretty much, I think, almost,
Pretty sure,
I think so.
Sure,
so sometimes it can also happen.
It's a very complex
so what I wanted to say is, not to say those who are transsexuals or gay, it's fine if people feel that in their heart. But right now, I think they're trying to, and Cartoli actually said, he heard someone, and I heard that too, that they've changed in the US, and I don't know in Australia, but they changed the law that if a 5-year-old comes to the parents and says,
they can
and if they refuse, the state can get involved. 5-year-old. If they hear, how easy it is to influence the 5-year-old minds through the TV? They hear something and they want to try it out. So that is absolutely right. If that is true,
that is true.
So that goes to that extent, which is
That's a bit
You know,
extreme. Yeah,
yeah.
that's it. Yeah, that's why. So I'm not against people. Obviously, we're not against. If anybody misunderstands
No,
this,
absolutely
against anyone, I love everyone. I accept
beautiful
everyone.
people.
But I'm just saying that sometimes it's because they grew up in a society where they have to fit certain gender roles. And so they feel like if they change their sexuality or whatever, the role, whatever, it will be more acceptable. As opposed to being a man who's also very emotional, they want to match it physically. And a woman who's very just masculine, they want to match it. Whereas they can just enjoy the female body and also be psychologically very masculine. That's what I was saying earlier. Like in dating and relationship, one of the core things is to have that inner union we're talking about in the masterclass. And the union happens when one begins to see one's partner or her tendency to be a man in yourself, and vice versa.
Wow. Yeah, that's
To see it.
interesting. Yeah.
That's how one begins to relate with it. If you're a man with the feeling side. Ordinarily, men or the people who are more masculine, because they're women too.
Yeah.
Because they're like gay, I have gay friends, I have gay clients.
Yeah.
Maybe in gay relationship, often there's one that's more masculine and one that's more feminine.
Yes.
Okay? So the more masculine one might be like, he's so emotional.
Yeah.
I'm more irrational, blah, blah, blah. And the feeling one is like, you're so in your head. Whereas, there are two halves of truth.
Yeah, right. They're both.
It's not better or worse.
It's one.
It's the one. So, but if one has repressed one's feminine side, if you're a man or a woman who's more masculine, how are you going to relate with somebody who's very emotional? It's not possible. How are you going to relate? It's going to be always misunderstanding.
Always
you
a
can't
problem.
see what they're talking about. You're going to judge them. You're going to think they're being this. And if somebody is all feeling, somebody who's more rational, intellectual, logical, how can you live with them? So the way is one to see both aspects within oneself, and then one can say, "Oh, I see you're being rational right now. Oh, you're being feeling. Okay, I can see. Oh, I can see why you will say that.
Yeah.
Because you're in your feeling. Okay. Oh, yeah. The relationship becomes potentially easier,
Yes.
isn't it? Yeah, because you can. Otherwise, it's just judgment and abuse all day long. Many women have read books about it. The husband comes home, for example, the masculine mind.
Yeah.
One of the ways it compresses when it comes home, whether you're a woman or man, it wants to be left alone, generally.
Usually.
Watch TV, read a book, leave me alone.
Yeah.
Then when it gets that, they say, "Hi, honey." Wants to maybe make love because the woman.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And for the woman, when she's stressed out, she's looking for company.
Yeah.
Guess how stressed I am.
No, but that's true. That is true.
I want to talk to you about it. And the man is going,
yeah, where's my dog? Where's my cat?
and he's going, can you leave me alone? I want to watch my game. You don't love me anymore. listen to all the things I'm talking about. You don't love me anymore. And the man is just going, how about me? I need some time to just decompress.
Yeah.
If a woman understands that, she take it less personal. On you. He said, well, oh, okay, you need just, okay, I got it. You need that. When you're done, can you come to me? Because I want to talk. Because I need some. Then when he or she is ready, they're more available.
Yeah.
But they've gotten their food already. Same for women. If women wants to talk, that's why women commit suicide maybe less. When she's stressed out, she's calling her friend, her partner. And
she knows what to do. There's a mechanism in place for her.
She's talking about, she's telling everyone was,
Yeah.
Then she feels better.
Yeah. No, definitely. When you talk about it, even if there's no solution, you just feel better. Yeah, for sure.
Another thing you just said.
Yeah.
We men or people who are more masculine, be a woman.
Yeah.
When she's talking about us, so we're looking for solutions.
Yeah.
And we go, come on now, you know what to do. Sometimes she doesn't give a damn
about the solutions.
Doesn't want to hear it. If you give it to her for too soon,
you
must have becoming an enemy.
I like, oh, this is like, really? It's not so.
I'm looking at you like, I feel so guilty.
That's so cute.
She's trying to
Going
complain.
on camera right now.
Or being man too, who's very feminine.
Yeah.
Supposed to talk. And the masculine was going, my goodness. You told me this 1,000 times.
Yeah.
I used to talking about it. But for
He's
that
so
feminine,
sweet.
it's a new one.
New one, yeah.
And you're like, what? She's supposed to talk about it. And she's going to be like, oh, thank you, I love you. I really love me just so you hate me. Oh, I listened to you. You got to go, oh, okay.
Wow.
There are so many things. All these tools can be talked about, whether it was a relation or in whatever section or whatever.
Yeah.
All these things. That's why we talk about Honestly, it's sometimes simpler. Honestly, the masculine, there are things the masculine, whether you're male or female, needs. And you, me, we have the masculine side.
Yeah.
But if one doesn't integrate that part of oneself, one will judge all day. Like people who say, I'm empathic, right? You hear that all the time, and men.
It's a new.
And who did they attract among others?
Yeah.
Who did they almost always attract? The one who's not sensitive.
Yeah.
And life is saying you have that too. See it within yourself. Your masculine side doesn't give a damn.
That's actually been one of the most shocking things that I've found out in my journeys, that all these things that I was judging, and they call it shadow boxing.
Yeah.
Which is like projecting your stuff on other people, think, look, they're like that.
Yeah.
But actually, how can you even see that if you don't have it? So that's been one of the most shocking things for me. Like, oh my God, I've got that too. Like, I actually started seeing these things in myself, those tendencies, and it was like shocking because I was judging it so harshly. That's so humbling.
Yeah. It's funny,
yeah.
That whole aspect of even judging something very harshly.
Yeah.
It's such a, it's so detrimental to yourself on its own,
Yeah.
If you just look at that segment of just judging things, it's so crazily biased, completely biased, and not real at all. If you
But you know why we judge?
Yeah.
It actually makes sense.
Yeah. Okay.
No.
Okay.
Why we judge? It makes complete sense.
Right.
And to really sense this,
Yeah.
is actually start transcending and at least seeing that what is judgmental. You're not judging it anymore. Because most people, their judgment is double layered. They judge and they're judging themselves for judging. That's a double layer, that's a double suffering.
Right.
If you're going to at least enjoy it.
Go all in.
And deal with the consequence. Because people take revenge. When you judge people, they're going to judge you.
Yeah.
And then you complain. So I'm not saying it's okay, but at least be aware that you judge it. Because the reason why we judge, for example, if a masculine being, male or female, represses the feminine, why do you think they did that? They judged it. So when somebody is being like that, you don't want to see it.
Yeah.
How could you? It's weak.
Like in Eastern European
But they
countries, for example, or even Estonia, if a man shows, often a man shows too much feminine or almost any, they're not
Even in the black community in the US,
yeah.
bitches N-word. That's what they call it. Yeah, that's what they say. That's what they say. Look at you, you're all emotional. Look at you. Or women.
Or loving.
Or loving. Oh, that makes you weak.
Shameful.
Yeah.
Well, it's weak only if one that moves to that extreme feeling. But you balance. That's that weak. It's an advantage actually. You can be rational and yet also sensitive. Wow.
You can be both, yeah.
Wow. Wow. It's an advantage. Otherwise, you have to move to an area where people are only rational.
Oh, only sensitive.
And I guarantee, only sensitive. And I guarantee you, one of the definitions of purgatory or hell, suffering. 100%. Because there are situations in life that feelings are what's needed, and they apply logic. Or situations that require feeling,
but they apply.
Or it requires logic, and they're being emotional about it. So they're going to create kind of health, small health for themselves in that community. So, but if one has both, you can say, oh, it's time to cry. You cry. Time to hug. What's wrong with that? If it's time to fight for something, you take it.
Yeah.
And if it's time to be rational and reasonable, be reasonable.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Wow.
For sure.
That's actually what awakening is like in some way.
It sounds so simple and obvious, but it's so hard to practice it, right?
It sounds hard, it's not. If one can be conscious, aware, or at least be present. And we talk about present, and what does it mean? We made videos about this in the past. We can talk again about it, but we talk about presence briefly. Yeah. The presence, whenever you are, let's imagine this is a cup, right? I have this cup in my hand. There are two ways to deal with the cup. I'm not aware of it. I mean, I can't really do that because once it's established, you can't really undo it. You know? But imagine that. Like you're carrying it on your camera, you know?
Yeah.
And then you suddenly, there's a cup in my hand. I'm not thinking about it. I'm just looking at it. I can feel my hand holding it.
Yeah. That's amazing. Yeah.
And what you also notice is the silence that comes with it.
Immediately, your mind is silent. It's so simple. But people complicate everything. Even the awakening has become complicated. But what I'm trying to do is to simplify it. Maybe I'm overdoing it. I'm trying to simplify this stuff.
Not at all.
Simplify this thing. People think it's like when I become enlightened. No. Are you kidding me? It's so simple. You're gonna be wondering why you've been avoiding it. It's so simple. It's the simplest things. Just when you drink. Oh God, my hand is holding it. One is making love to one's partner for your partner's body. Like you never
Don't think
before.
Whatever.
Or when you're like watching TV. You say, watch TV. Just be aware of it. You're sitting on the chair in the movie theater. Put your butt on the movie theater.
It's really simple, really. Just being in the moment.
What
Anything like touching or smelling, like through the senses.
Everything,
Like
You have to work hard.
textures and teaching.
Your mind starts becoming silent.
Yeah.
The reason why this mind is so busy in many people, if I was to really say, can I be blunt about that?
Yeah.
Like so busy, is because they don't want to be here and also feel.
Desensitize
If you
themselves.
don't want to feel, you bet you're going to start thinking a lot. Because that's the greatest and quickest escape route. When you start thinking a lot, you don't feel as much. Because now people don't want to feel. That's why I often tell people that you want to wake up, deal more with the feeling. Be aware of it. Because as the feeling begins to dissipate and heal, all that storm will start. Because the storm is storming so that you don't feel the depth. Go to the depth, the storm will start quieting. Otherwise, to address the storm directly can be done in meditation. There are techniques that I share and I guide, and for those who are interested, I guide them. Some people like that. But I'm like, if you want a quick awakening, deal with the feeling. All that storm is just your ego. It's the ego. It's the friend trying to distract you. Say, you're feeling it again. Don't feel. Think. And it's producing all these thoughts. It's the ego doing it. But when the healing is happening, you go, I have nothing to do anymore. People start relaxing. Less to do. I know I'm sharing a lot today, and these are little bit true. But some of them, people need guidance. They don't need it, but it's very helpful to have guidance, which is part of why we have all these packages that we share with people to see all the
Masterclasses,
all the
we
stuff.
work with people in the container.
You can say that.
Yes.
Well,
if people are really interested in working with us,
please.
we always
plug your
first we
offer.
offer an exploration call. We see, get to know each other a bit, see what their issues are, what the blockages are, what they want, where they're at. Like there is a lot of exploration that happens. Oluwa is looking into people really deeply, often with their permission. And then we go from there. But generally, we know that no healing can happen without commitment. So we're actually, it is a commitment when people want to work with us, because we work with them in a 6-month container. And 6 months because it takes actually at least that amount of time to be able to rewire the nervous system, the neural network, pathways, and to start embodying it to at least to some extent.
It's a gradual process.
It is, but it needs consistent commitment.
For sure.
And we're really helping people with that.
100%.
Like whatever healing is needed, whether it's inner child or whatever is happening, past life healing, Oluwa can facilitate that. And obviously meditation practice, and we help them really teach them presence, help to heal trauma, release emotion. Like there's just so many things. And it's individual for each person, because everyone is a unique individual.